Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Falai, and welcome to this Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. Last episode, we decided to go and take a look at the expansion content that happened to be present, or DLC content, whatever you want to call it. We made our way to the town of Stalwart, which was under attack by ogres. We managed to stop the attack, and tried to save some people in a burning building, and then spoke with a person in town who told us what's going on around here. She called us out here because she wants us to try and get into Durgan's battery so that they can start it up and save the town with the steel that they'd be able to make there. There's basically two hints we have for how we can get in. One is the ogres who are around here, who she wants us to deal with them. The other guy in this area wants us to deal with them in a more nicer way. And then there's some grumpy animancer who might know something. But we have more information to get from here, so let's see what we can find.
Any luck with Durgan's battery?
I have questions about Durgan's battery in the White Floor.
The Pargrin dwarves.
Okay, we don't have anything
What's on
there.
your mind?
I want to know more about Stalwart.
Adir founded us back in their colonial days to supply ore to the Empire. Saw a fair bit of traffic from both sides of the White March then.
She rubs the nub of her shortened ring finger.
But after the Deerwood claimed independence, Defiance Bay found cheaper places to get ore. Didn't have much reason to maintain our supply routes.
Isn't Stalwart part of the Deerwood?
Officially. Though with the state the roads are in, you wouldn't guess it.
Tell me some of the more important places around town.
Here in the center? Let's see. The Grave's Rest is next door. Hafric can set you up with a room and a hot meal there. The fishery's just on the edge of the lake, and the Temple of Andra is next to it. No one keeps a secret like Lavda. Or so I'm told. A few folk live in this part of town, too. Seemed a lot safer before the ogres broke through the western gate. Thiersch lives next to the old mine shaft, and Tana, the old mine overseer, is next door to me.
And what do you do here?
I'm the mayor, or so I'm reminded every time there's a game shortage, ogre attack, or a neighborly dispute.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm a builder by trade, though. Traveled all over Air Glonfoth and the Deerwood in my younger days, but ended up back here anyway.
She gives you a vague smile that's gone as quickly as it appears. Let's talk about
What's on your
something
mind?
Can you tell me anything about the last expedition that went to Durgan's battery?
They didn't volunteer much, and I knew better than to ask. I've seen all types charging through here. Professional companies with shiny new equipment as brazen as you please, and hopeless runts with nothing but tattered leathers. But these folk, I don't know what they were after, and the way they looked at you made you feel cold all over.
She shakes her head as if dislodging a bad dream.
Wish I could tell you more.
Oh, perhaps we'll find more in the battery itself, yes? Aloth nods at you with a guarded look.
What's on your mind?
That's all, thank you. Let's see.
I can do that.
Unlock that so we get a little bit of experience.
That's settled.
Judging from the large hole behind the gills, it can be safely assumed this trophy fish was shot with a pistol and not caught by a hook or a net.
Something else you need?
Alright, do you know anything about Durgan's battery?
It's a fool's hope. A fantasy that's kept these parts inhabited longer than they should be.
He glances around the old house and its worn furnishings.
They say the Pargrunan dwarves developed Durgan's steel, became powerful, rich, and then one day, they locked their doors and died. Nothing like a mystery to stir folk up. Most of Stalwart is convinced that some Pargrin secret will save us all. But that don't stop them from whispering a prayer when they pass the old fortress.
Earlier, you said I should make peace with Matron Berrigan.
About the only thing folk here haven't tried. Killing one more matron won't change things for long.
He's not wrong.
Besides, her clan's flames that whisper. The one that attacked us was Wolf with many mouths. I'd know him anywhere.
They're cut from the same cloth, Aldrich. Only a matter of time before Baragon marches through that gap in our walls.
At the sound of Renengild's voice, Uldric's shoulders stiffen. His jaw works in a silent but furious retort. You seem to disagree with Renengild on quite a few matters.
Mother's convinced that a magic forge will turn this frozen crack into a hub of civilization. She can't accept this place is dying.
This is your home. You can't just give up on it.
Give up on what? There's nothing here.
He scrapes the sole of his boot on the straight but weathered floorboards. And what do you do here?
I'm a carpenter. Mother's a builder. So it felt like a good fit at the time. Not that we've got a lot of new folk to build houses and furnishings for. These days, I spend most of my time fixing up the stockade.
Well, repairs are still something important. Alright, well, let's take a look around the town and see what's available for us to do. And, of course, we're gonna need to take a rest. We got a little
Looking
tired and
everywhere
wounded.
for you.
Hello. Okay, nothing can be done there. Let's see, we've got Durgan's Battery, Russet Wood, Taina's House, the Gref's Rest, Stalwart Hot Springs, Fishery, Temple of Andra, Iduran's Wagon, Thrist's House, and Longwatch Falls. Okay. You have something to say. The man is sweating despite the cold. He opens his mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a loud, hacking cough. He bends forward, bracing his hands on his thighs while he heaves and gasps. After a lengthy duration, he raises a finger, still panting. All Haefric's fault. Damn fool sent me to the other side of town, looking for you. At last he stands again. He wipes his dripping brow with the back of his hand and then offers that hand to you in greeting. Shake his hand. Pleasure to meet you. I'm the, captain of the militia around here. Nice to meet you. I wanted to catch you before you went running off into the wilds. You see, there's a few dangerous folk you might want to be on the lookout for. Plus, if you're heading out to Longwatch Falls, I thought you might could pick up a thermal pearl for me. He looks away and twists the toe of his boot into the snow. You want me to find a thermal pearl for you? That's a thing, I already found it. I just need someone else to go out and get it. Saw it in the hot springs up near Longwatch Falls. Would have grabbed it myself, but that's when I looked around and saw the Lagerfeld. Must have been 50 of them. I would have fought, but I started to wonder what the rest of Stalwart would do without me, so I ran. For the sake of the village, of course. What is a thermal pearl, anyway? They form in the hot springs. Something to do with all the minerals in the water. Smell kind of funny, but they're full of minerals. Just have to crumble them into a pint. He grins, and you notice that his gums are bleeding. They also cure scurvy. Like I said, the pearl's in one of the thermal pools near Longwatch Falls. Shouldn't be hard to spot. Tell me more about it. It's east of Stalwart. Got some nice views of the valley, but most folk avoid it these days. Plenty of wilder nearby, and it only takes a few inches of snow to block the pass. If you're heading out that way, I'd suggest talking to Thirsk. He's might have something to help you deal with the Lagerfeld. Alright, that's all. Stop by Thirsk's place before you leave town. His is the house next to the mines. He's a veteran hunter who knows the wilds better than anyone. You said something about dangerous folk in the wilderness. We got our share of crazes out here. Most of them aren't even from the village. Latest groups I'd heard of were the Gleaming Society and the Sisterhood of the Slaked Skull. But Renengild set aside some bounty money to see that these troublemakers were taken care of. You bring me the heads of their leaders, and I'll give you the payment. I want to know about the Gleaming Society. Crazy pack of radicals that wants to topple governments and kill the wealthy. Makes the War of Defiance look like a good fight. Duke Avar and the Regent of Raed Saris both declared them illegal, which is probably the only thing those two would agree on. Anyway, check Longwatch Falls to the east. That's where they were last seen. Who leads the Sisterhood of the Slaked Skull? Well, that'd be Mezcla. All of the members of the Sisterhood worship Bareth, by sending as many folk back to the wheel as they can. They've been poking around Durgan's Battery, and Whale only knows why, but you can understand why no one around here is pleased to hear about it. Passed through town recently. Didn't stay long, but they stopped at the Temple of Andra. You might see if Laughter knows something. If you come across them, be careful. They're unpredictable. Alright, thank you. Okay.
Don't see the harm. Building's thirsty work.
Oh? And who are you?
Figured you'd be out of here in a flash after the fighting died down. Most people don't stick around after they figure out the ogres are making regular visits. I would have helped fight them monsters off, you know. If I didn't think I'd just get in the way. And with you there to handle things, everything turned out well enough, didn't it? Don't see why Havric's still sour at me.
What's this about Havric?
Oh, Havric's the innkeeper over at the Grave's Rest. I may have been hiding in the inn when the fighting started. The raid didn't improve his disposition any. Did you know he has a whole case of Fenlin liquor in there? I keep offering to buy it off him, but he says he's saving it up for when the battery's open again. As if we're gonna last that long. Anyhow, he said he'd thrash me up and down the mountain if I didn't leave him be.
It seems reasonable to want to save it for a special occasion.
It's delusional is what it is. Point of fact, what with you dealing with ogres and everything, maybe you'd, be willing to help me out.
From saving the town to swiping liquor, there's progress for you.
Averick keeps all the good stock in the inn cellar. Out of sight, you see. I mean, it's bound to be under lock and key, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss a single bottle. Not with everything that's going on.
What does stealing wine for you have to do with fighting ogres?
Well, Averick can be a little intimidating when it comes to his beverages. But otherwise, not much, I guess.
Not going to rob the innkeeper for you.
Shh, all right, keep it down. I didn't mean anything by it. But if you happen to come across some, then maybe you could share?
I'm not robbing. Alright, let's take a look in the inn. We're gonna need a rest anyway. Alright, let's see.
Bereth's wheel of fire.
Yeah, I can understand the desire to do that. It's nice and warm in here. Oop.
Still can't feel my fingers. Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh?
Fiara raises a frosty mug to you. Even though the warmth of the hearth reaches you here, her hands are wrapped in weirwool and her ears muffled by a hat. Her face has the taut, wind-beaten look of someone who's recently come from the road.
As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing.
She takes a drink, and as she tilts her head back, you see a bruise purpling her jaw and the crimson bloom of scraped knuckles. What exactly happened to you?
Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. And maybe they are. But I might have been on my guard if I'd listened. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. We picked up a good haul, too. So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky starts dumping snow. We lost sight of the road. Meanwhile, something else found us. Took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. These little four-armed wilder. Lagufoth, they're called.
She shakes her head, staring at the embers in the fire pit.
Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they filled her full of darts, I turned tail and ran. Found my way here and thanked my luck for escaping the Lagufoth. Then come to find out that this town's got an ogre problem.
I'm sorry to hear about your friends.
That's a kind sentiment. I'll mourn them when I get home. But I've got to retrieve our haul if I'm to have any hope of that. I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to Defiance Bay without something to show for my expedition.
Apprehension creeps into her expression. She stares into her mug, swirling its contents.
But you know how to navigate the wilds. You'd be able to find your way out there and back with no trouble, I'd wager. I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't afford to go home empty-handed.
She brushes her nails along the side of her mug as that anxious look returns. Tell me what you're looking for.
Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know?
Renengild told me that another expedition came through before I arrived. Was that you?
Who? No, that would have been somebody else. We didn't meet with Renengild, or anyone else in town for that matter. We were operating on our own.
Why are these relics so important to you?
We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back.
Remind me where I can find your caravan.
What's left of it should be near Durgan's battery. If you stumble across the Lagufoth, you'll know you're close.
Sounds like the Lagufoth are everywhere, though. And what do you know about Durgan's battery?
Just that it's been locked up tight for 200 years on account of those dwarves having a row. Which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more of a businesswoman than a historian.
Alright, goodbye. Hold on, I want to see... Is there anything I can get for perception? Yes. Let me just put this on for a moment.
You find anything? Like I said,
Examine
we were
her
treasure
teeth.
hunting.
As Fiara talks, you notice that her teeth and gums are stained with dark spots. You recognize those spots as signs of Sveth use. Interesting. I really need to get a boost to perception on my main guy. Other people with names, let's see. Hey there, good timing! You can watch me transbirth when. Used to play a game like this in Masuk. Good fun. Looks like a good way to lose a finger. Once, Andred, you won once. What are you playing? Orland's Head. That's what they call it anyway. Smooth. You pick a target, see? Nose or ears? Nose is worth more, but you've got 2 ears to work with. You get less points the further out from the target you get. So for the mouth and eyes. No points if you miss. Fancy a game? 3 throws each, and whoever gets the most points by the end of it wins the wager. I'll put down 50 pans if you will. Sure, let's play. Andred pulls a throwing knife from his belt, turning it over in his hands. Wager's 50 pans. You in? Yeah, sure, we'll give one a go. Lovely. I'll go first just to show you how it's done. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the eye, scoring 5. Your turn. Aim for the nose. The knife hits the mouth, scoring 5. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. The knife hits the fur, scoring 2. Aim for the nose. Hits the ear, scoring 7. Andred aims carefully and throws his blade. Hits the fur, scoring 2. Nose again. Hits the fur, scoring 2. That's 14 for you and 9 for me. Not bad, stranger. Looks like you win this one. Here's your prize. Guess I ought to get in some practice. Okay, a simple gambling thing. This large piece of stone is adorned with an engraving of a hammer and chisel, though the writing beneath is too worn away to read.
Go check on that Orland. Make sure he don't steal nothing.
Well, you're
Never
Havrick.
seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it.
The dwarf surveys the crowd, his expression sober despite the half-empty flagon in his hand. He shakes his head and looks to you, remembering himself.
But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word and I'll give that shifty little Orland the boot.
What Orland?
Showed up a few days ago, sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
He squints toward the hall as if daring the Orland to show himself.
Up to no good, I tell ya. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want a ruckus over it.
What makes you so sure he's trouble?
We get our share of lowlifes coming through here. Smugglers, fugitives, Kith looking to avoid the sharp eye of the law. Ways keeping to himself. Well, honest Kith sure don't have cause for it.
I could talk to him.
I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. I'm sure you can find a more discreet way of handling the problem.
Uh-huh.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
I thought you might want to know that Rayfold asked me to steal your liquor.
He did he? That shifty little crook never learns. I'll have it put away somewhere safe. Thank you for doing the decent thing. Here, for your honesty.
Yep, only seems right.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What
All
can
right,
I do?
I'd
Top
like a
quality
room.
bear pelts?
Let's see what we got. First, we have some things that we can sell, which includes all of these, all of these, all of these. Plus 3 resolve is actually pretty good. We'll pass on it. And there's wolf hides, lion hides, and an elder lion fang. 3,600. Seems fine to me. As for rest, 2 dexterity, dex and might, dex, might, and con. Oh, we're taking that one. Hireling payday, huzzah. An exotic wares merchant arrived at the keep and requests an audience. He was nearly set upon by brigands on the road, but your patrol intervenes. We'll go check on him later. We gotta look through the town first. Let's keep looking through here. Pardon my throat. Nothing in that room. A winner. Oh, sorry.
Excuse me, was there something you need?
Apparently not. That must be the Orland.
Not to be rude, but I'm rather busy. Can't you get another room?
The Orland turns and glances past you with a quick, nervous motion. His ears, shredded and scalloped at the edges, are pressed against his skull. Hayfrick sent me to check on you. He thinks you're up to something.
He... what? Oh no. No.
He runs his claws through his hair and tugs at his long, ragged ears. Can't imagine why he'd think a thing like that.
Is she there? Did you see her?
Who are you talking about?
Devala. That woman. The slaver, she... I was a slave in Raid Ceres. I ran away. Made it here. The mountains are usually the best place to lose slavers, but Devala's one of the best.
Perhaps we should tell someone. Stalwart wouldn't stand for this.
Slavery may be illegal here, but I wouldn't be the first runaway to get nabbed in a town like this, while some local trapper gets a nice payday. Besides, you spoke with Havrick. I've kept him myself and paid on time, and he assumes the worst. I just want to get out of here. I've scraped together enough money to reach New Haomar.
New Haomar? That's hardly an improve... I mean, it's lovely. You'll love it.
But the locals talk about a Raid Saren party, camped west of town. It's got to be Devala. She's been after me since the foothills. I'll pay you if you can get rid of her. I don't care how.
I'll do it.
Thank you. But be careful. She wouldn't have come alone.
We'll do what we can. So we'll be heading somewhere to the west to take care of that. Okay. We've got like 3 areas we have to investigate.
Back to warm your hands, eh?
Okay, nothing else we can tell him. We can take a look in the basement. I think we have the time. And there's gamblers here, it seems.
10 pounds says she trips them.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You're awful.
Whole load of traps here. Quite a few
Nice and
traps.
quiet.
That's settled.
At least we're getting experience for all of this. An assortment of dusty vintages lines these shelves. Many date to before the war in Defiance. The hero of the hour. Hayfrick sent you down to check on us. We aren't causing trouble, on my word. Who are you? Teen Lake. He raises his mug. Humble fisherman. Though with the ogres coming down all the time, well, I'd sooner fish for truth down a bottle for the time being. What are you playing? Dozens. Care to test your luck? Each of us puts down 50 pans. 3 wins and you make the 100. Could explain the rules if you like. What are the rules? It's simple enough. Winner takes all. We roll 3 dice each. Get 3 4s and that's the dozen. Beats all the other rolls. You roll anything else that sums to 12, that's the towers. Second best. You roll any other triples, that's a godhammer. You get a pair, that's witnesses. 1, 2, and 3 is a saint. That's the lowest. Any other roll is talkers. Doesn't amount to anything, so you roll the dice again. You get it? Sure, I'll play. Teen Lake reaches forward to gather up his dice. Right, here we go. Coins on the table. I'll let you go first since you're new. Roll the dice. 1, 2, 4, talkers. Witnesses, value 4. Your turn. Witnesses, value 2. Your witnesses beats my witnesses. The round's yours. Okay. Roll the dice. Talkers, towers, value 5. Your turn. Witnesses, value 5. Damn, your towers beats my witnesses. Round's yours. This is it now. You go first. Talkers, godhammers, value 5. Talkers, witnesses, value 3. Your godhammers beats my witnesses. Round's yours. Teen Lake reaches forward to gather up his dice. Well done, the game's yours. Prize too, here you are. Don't get too smug now. I'll best you next time. Well, thank you, but, yeah. I guess we just happened to win about 100 coin. Not too bad. It's fine. It's something. Alright. Seems to be everything there. Doesn't seem like there's anyone else in here. I do believe we should tell Rayfall.
If you weren't
going
to fetch the liquor for me, you didn't have to tell Havrick about it. Now he's banned me from the inn altogether.
Maybe that'll teach you not to plot thefts with strangers.
Very funny. Look, what do you want? You've already ruined my plans for the next 3 evenings.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what you should have expected, okay, buddy? You just deal with it. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. Not the stream, just the episode. Next episode, we'll take a look through the town itself and see if we can find anything else interesting. We gotta learn what we can, and Aneha, that's an interesting name. We gotta see what we can find and hopefully learn more. Maybe we'll get more quests, more things to do. We got a bunch of areas to go through. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I'm Chester44, also known as Falai. That is Laniara, Adair, Durance, Aloth, Kana, and Sagani. This has been a Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity, and I shall see you all next time.